All right, let's see. I'm hoping I'm live now. I was trying to go live for like several minutes, and I mean I think it was live originally like when I ended the stream, but it would not show that I was live on my end to save my life. So I am so sorry about that. Uh, Typically, I'm much better with just technology and stuff like that. So let me go ahead and tweet this out because I mean that just messed up everything. I just that was Hey, happy to have you here, Charles. Happy to have you here, Phil. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. On the last stream, I couldn't get confirmation that I was live until I ended it, and then YouTube was like, "Hey, yeah, you were live for 30 minutes for 30 seconds." I was like, "You kept telling me I was not live." So let me just retweet this out right fast. Truck. Let's see. Feel free to type whatever questions or things you guys had already done on the previous show. Like I said, I do apologize for making you go back to the channel and find another link here and all that. We're not talking truck DFS today. Yeah, okay, cool. Let's get this out real fast. For me personally today, I am just I'm only doing 3 lines. So uh, as we've pretty much all seen. Hey, what's going on, Gary? Happy to have you here. Thank you guys for all the likes and stuff so far. Um, I'm doing 3 lineups tonight because I am, a little tired of having the truck series turn into a farce. And let me read Discord real fast. Let's see. Okay, sorry, I was looking through stuff. So I'm only doing 3 lines because this race recently, as of late, has had a lot of people be involved in wrecks, a lot of people getting in the wall, a lot of lead changes and different tire strategies. Like that changes everything. If we get back-to-back yellows, like we get like 3 yellows back-to-back, we're gonna have people on drastically different tire strategies and things like that. And I just personally don't want to really deal with that stuff. What makes me like pool? Do I like pool? I got pool projected for 26. So I'm not exactly sure what you're looking at. This is just their practice speed and laps. Pool only he ran 5 laps because they needed to qualify in on time. It just so happened that Colby Howard ended up blowing a tire and they didn't let him queue, so they really didn't have to worry about that because of course they were gonna be faster than Rayum. Where was I at? Oh yes, so I am playing. I'm just doing 3 lines just because man. If there's ever a race for the Truck Series to get stupid and be a lot of different ways to go about this race, it's certainly this one. I don't really feel like dying on that train today. I'll die on that Saturday or tomorrow. I'll die on that Sunday. I just really don't want to deal with building a lot of lineups for the Truck Series here. I'm going to tell you right now. Now, granted, if you have my projections and stuff, you'll have you have who I like, who I don't like. But I'm going to tell you right now, I'm only doing 3 lines. It's practically the same lineup. I have 100% Hocevar because that's been fun to do. I have 100% Colby Howard. I have 67% LaJoy and 67% Bubba Wallace. And the remaining 2 people, that's all I'm switching in practically most of the lines. I mean, it's 3 lines. That's basically who I'm building around today. I like Byron. I think Byron has a real chance of leading this race and killing the field. If there is one driver that I believe stays out in front all day, it's William Byron. I do have interest in Ty Majeski. I think if you like Byron, it makes sense to play Majeski because he's probably going to be lower owned, and I think he's an identical play. So I would have some Majeski. I think you should have some Ben Rhodes as well. If you look at how Ben Rhodes has performed at this track, take away any race he's been involved in a wreck in, he's finished first and second, if I remember correctly of what I was looking at. or he at least has top 5 finishes. I think he's done 4 or 5 races here, which they only come here once a year. So past 4 years, he's been involved in 2 accidents, and he's finished outside the top 20 in both of those. But the races that he wasn't involved in an accident, he finished top 5. So I think Ben Rhodes makes a lot of sense. You want to talk about a driver who's going to be making good decisions based on pit road. The team's going to be making decisions based on pit road and things like that. I'm happy with going to Ben Rhodes. Also, let me kind of go through these laps so you can at least see more. If we extend these out here, and I'll scroll down so you guys can pause or look at these and all that type of stuff. It's good that the time Majeski ran this long. I mean, I think that's good. The fact that they actually ran that long and wanted to see what their car was doing, I think that's great to see. But that's really where we're at. I'm probably just going to keep this on screen for you guys. I'm going to move it down just to get probably to Dean to show more of the field here. I mean, we got Nick, Dawson, Brennan Poole. This is majority. This is mainly where you're choosing where you want to put guys and stuff like that, or where you want to go based on other guys and everything like that. But yeah, building lineups. I do have one lineup that is true place differential. Now it's not leaving, $10,000 on the table. It's not, stacking, 6 guys from like 23rd on back. But I do have a line which honestly has been very viable the last couple Truck Series races. If you would have gone that direction and just have a line that really doesn't necessarily chase like initial lap leaders and shit like that. Honestly, those lines have cashed and been perfectly fine. So I do have one of my 3 lines like that. And for me, because I like putting a lot of lines in, I force myself to enter the damn 3 max, $3 tournament. So I'm not tempted to throw any more lines in the 10 or anything like that. I'm physically stuck to 3 lines, so I'm not going to be pissing away a ton of money today. So I think that is a very viable strategy, because I do believe we're going to have a lot of yellows here. You look at this race, we have 11 people who have never been at this track before, who have no experience. The initial hypothesis early in the week of playing the 8K guys still makes a lot of sense if you want to chase people starting up front. The issue comes from is that we have so many guys, we have so many good cars that have just more place differential from them. It's typically the other way around, where your expensive guys qualify up front and your 8K guys aren't going to get laps led, but they start in the teens and they can work their way up into the top 10. The issue comes from the fact that we have several guys. If I can find... Sorry, I got the camera in the way. You have Garcia starting 5th, not going to do fuck all. You have Benedetto, who I think is a very interesting play, specifically based on his practice speed. He's mid-tier. You have Christian Eckes up there. You have Nicholas up there. So the original plan of, hey, let's jam in the 8K and 9K guys works phenomenally if they're starting like from 7th to 17th. But here they're already in the front. They have absolutely no place differential, and because they're not necessarily the best guys, they can compete for wins and stuff like that, but they are going to get passed, and there's going to be people competing with them directly in the points. You got Purdy, you got Majeski, you got Byron, you got Rhodes, you got Bubba, you got Ankrum, you got Hocevar, Matt Crafton, Parker Kligerman, Zane Smith. All these drivers that I just mentioned are going to be running anywhere between 13th and 7th. So even if these guys are holding their position there, while it might not be value for the more expensive guys just on that baseline, clearly they're going to need fast laps and laps led. But it kind of negates that early thing of what I typically wanted to do and what I've been trying to do more and more of playing the AK guys and stuff like that. So Nicholas makes a lot of sense. But he's $9,200, starting 3rd. Do I think he gets the lead? Yes. Do I think he holds on the lead? I mean, probably not. I have to assume that people are going to, like I said, there's going to be a lot of strategy here. A lot of decisions made on pit road and stuff like that. And it's just, it's kind of unfortunate. So it kind of changes the balance there. So when I'm talking about, a place differential line, people that I think make a ton of sense, as I said, Hocevar, I guess we're just going to fucking live and die on that. Like, same with Dean Thompson. I guess we're just going to keep playing Dean Thompson and Hocevar and just pissing away money at this point. But like Hocevar, going to be a top 10 car. And Dean Smith, going to be a top 12 car all day. Just depends on what he does. Bubba Wallace going to compete for the win. Ben Rhodes going to be a top 7 car. Zane Smith, yes, he's been slow. Yes, this has probably been Zane Smith's worst racetrack. But even then, he's probably going to finish 10th to 7th, So, these guys don't necessarily kill you. We're not even talking about guys in the back. Johnny Sauter starting 27th. Look, scored 37 points last week, 32 points, somewhere around there. I know he was $8,000, needed 40 to pay off, but he didn't kill you. He's starting in the back. Haley Deegan's starting in the back. Corey LaJoy starting in the back. Yes, he's slow as molasses, but Corey LaJoy based on skill alone. I mean, look, I shit talk LaJoy a ton because he's just a lying piece of shit, but he's starting 29th. He's going to run probably 19th, 18th, 17th at some point in this race, and I would not be shocked if he finishes better than that in this race. He doesn't need that much to pay off. He's very easily going to pass at least 9 guys right off the bat, or at least in the first stage and stuff, just based on his skill alone. Lawless, Allen, Vargas, even Chris Wright. Oh, and then we have Colby Howard, who this is, unlike Zane Smith, this has been one of, Colby Howard's better tracks. If you look at how he races in these races, he might not necessarily have all the finishes, but Colby Howard knows what he's doing, and he starts 38th. This car on speed alone is a 23rd place car. So, give him, 12 to 13 place differential points, and he's there. So, if this race gets dumb, if they decide they want to start wrecking people and removing fast laps from the equation and just having a ton of restarts, having a ton of, tire strategy come into play, if you're really considering just doing a kind of a place differential lineup, you can get really, really good guys. They could very easily stack, Hocevar, Kligerman, Bubba Wallace, Ben Rhodes, then some guys in the backs, and that line isn't terrible. And I think you should probably at least have one of those in this race, just because the potential of how stupid this race can potentially be. Anyway, let's go through here. So going back to you, Steven, I don't like Poole. Sterling, who do I think leads early? I don't know, man. I really don't. I really, really don't. Because I don't see, we got Corey, Enfinger, Nick, and Eckes. So, where are we at? If we're just focusing on early leaders, I'm going to guess it's Grant, because Grant has the fastest short run speed of these guys. We have Nick, or Nick has a fast car, but that's because he hit the wall and stuff. Let's just keep it on. Let's keep it on these 3 guys, because Nick starts on the inside row, and I think he has a better chance of getting the lead early versus the guy starting 4th. Could be wrong, but anyway, when you analyze these 3 guys just alone, we're looking at direct short run speed of who's going to get the lead. Specifically between Corey and Enfinger. And you look here, Corey's. This is what we're looking at directly off the restart. This is how we find an early lap leader and stuff. Corey compared to Grant's time, I would give the advantage to Enfinger. So head to head between these 2 cars, the speed alone leads to Enfinger. Now Corey's going to be able to select, the restart lane that he wants. He's going to be in control of the restart. For all intents and purposes, Corey Heim should lead the field out of 2, based on having the advantage of choosing the lane and commanding the restart. But speed alone gives it to Enfinger. And so when it gets to this situation here, I think it's very much a toss-up. And I can't answer that question. Or if I feel like it, if I answer the question who leads early, I don't personally feel like I have enough confidence to answer that correctly. I think there's a lot of different people who can lead in this race, not even necessarily right off the bat, but you got Eckes right there who's been fast. Benedetto has a really, really good car. I don't know if people are going to necessarily consider him in this range, but when we look at Benedetto, yeah, sure, short run is not there, and this is him coming out of the pits, but still, when you look at his laps, it's not like they put on new tires. Him at 159, just imagine, get rid of this and move it to here. Of course he made some changes, but he's anywhere from 6 to 10 laps in, on a run, and he's still able to maintain, a 158, 157 even though he hit 150 and 157 here. Like, he's not having a ton of fall off. So, to Benedetto, I think could very easily contend to lead this race if it goes green, or if they can, get track position. I mean, they already have it, but like coming out of the pits, if he can start like third or fourth at some point in this race, I would not be shocked to see Benedetto like lead in this race. Like, I don't have enough, just confidence here, and maybe that's why I'm hesitant on playing a ton of lines. But I mean, anybody up here can lead laps early. And then it goes directly to, because we're most likely going to have a yellow within the first 15 laps. That's just probably what we're going to see. So, okay, somebody gets a lead on the first restart. We have a yellow lap 16. Everybody goes into pits because, your tires are shot. And then you do that shit all over again. And, like, I just believe that chasing the early lap leader isn't important in this race. I hate to say it, but I just don't believe it, because the more restarts we get, the better chance Byron is going to get up there, Ty Majeski is going to get up there, Bubba Wallace is going to get up there, Ben Rhodes is going to get up there. There's just other guys in the back that I think are going to get to the front, able to outscore an early lap leader based on the place differential alone. So that's kind of where I'm at. So I'm just personally not really caring a ton about an early lap leader. That's my take. That's kind of my early, how I think the race goes early. Let's see here. Yeah, and then, I mean, a ton of, just like Phyllis said, there's going to be a ton of fuckers in the wall today. I mean, we're going to have so many yellows. Even if we don't have yellows, NASCAR is going to, do their whole, we're not going to throw a yellow for this guy getting in the wall because he's not Chase Elliott. And so, just another thing, like Daniel Dye gets in the wall out of 2. Everybody gets around him. He goes to pit. He's like 4 laps down. NASCAR says, fuck you. They don't throw the yellow. I mean, and there's just a ton of shit that's going to happen today. Can't decide. Personally, I would not play. I'm not. But even if I was doing a lot of lines, I don't think I would play Corey. I don't think I would play Enfinger. I would probably play Nick and Eckes if I was going to start chasing people up front. But even then, they're starting. I don't have the confidence that they can hold on to that lead. This is not Texas. This is not Kansas, to where you can use the dirty air to keep people behind you. You got to survive restarts. You have to survive the tire degradation. You have to survive multiple restarts. And I don't know if Nick and X can do that and work fantasy-wise today. Dean or Deegan, I would prefer Dean Thompson over Haley Deegan. Cheaper, better speed. Some bitch has a real top 12 car. Doesn't need luck to get there, but he needs luck to not wreck himself. I would prefer Dean over Deegan, but either way, I think they're both perfectly fine. What do you think about Chris Wright? What the hell is Chris Wright doing? Let me take this stuff off. Like, what is Chris Wright doing? I know he's up here somewhere. This man, this kamikaze pilot motherfucker. What is with these times, Chris? I mean, slow, super slow in general, but this is a dangerous Chris Wright. Not just based on the average speed. I mean, when we look at where he's going to run, he's probably going to fall around 21st to 27th. But oh my God, Chris Wright, man, has he wrecked every week? Like, honest to God, how much equipment has Chris Wright destroyed over his NASCAR career? I hate whenever somebody's like, well, he actually won a championship in INSMA or on the road in some road series. I'm like, dude, I don't care. Chris Wright has personally been responsible for probably over $2 million in race car damages. And that's just the cars that he's driving, not the wrecks involving other people. I can't think of a more expensive, like, he has passed Stephen Wallace. He has passed, I just went blank on the Rockstar kid. Kwasniewski? Dylan Kwasniewski, was that his name? Anyway, Chris Wright has just destroyed ton of stuff, and I just can't imagine that that Chris Wright is a safe play today. I'm like, at this point, I'm full fade Chris Wright every fucking week. If this or not even, because I do play him here and there. If I'm like forced to, then I'm like, oh, I guess I'm gonna lose it, or I'm gonna lose my, whatever the case may be. I'm not playing Chris Wright at Darlington. That's for damn sure. So that's a disaster. Oh yeah, it's over $1 million easy. I was trying. It's got to be over 2. I mean, look on the low end, race car in NASCAR in general, truck, Xfinity, whatever the case may be, 80,000 to 120. Let's just use that as the baseline. But Chris Wright is very easily blown through that money. Like, he's easily blown through $1 million. That's anywhere from 8 to 12 wrecks. Okay, easily done that. And then we get to 2 million, and I'm like, I think he's cleared 2 million. He might be under like $3 million, but truly, like, he has destroyed millions and millions and millions of dollars worth of racing equipment. I don't know. Assume most are going to build with Bubba, Byron, Zane. I assume so. I think Bubba makes a lot of sense today. Gives you place differential, not as expensive as other drivers. Byron is there as well. It really is. That's why I was so excited about playing the 8K range when this weekend started, and I just don't think we're going to be able to do that. So Byron is probably going to be popular. That's why I mentioned, if you like Byron, Ty Majeski makes a lot of sense for a pivot off of Byron, and I think Ben Rhodes makes a lot of sense for a pivot off of Byron as well. Those are probably the two guys that I would use to get different if you are concerned about the Byron ownership, or if you just want to get just a different lineup build in general. I would lean towards Ty, and I would lean towards Ben Rhodes, which I have done in some of my lines. That's on Holmes, Sauter, and Ankrum. Brett Holmes is, where are we at? Don't hate it. I don't think you need to get to the 5K range either. Everybody down here is viable. Like, honestly, from maybe not Pool because he was a G2A or G2G. Is it G2A, G2G? I think of G2A as the game marketplace online where you can buy games. Outside of Pool, because he's starting 28th, everybody back here is viable. Like, project everybody back here at a worst finish of 28th. With all the DNFs that we might see. Ryan Vargas is a bit expensive. I know he's in the on-point car in the 30, but that's a bit expensive for me. But I don't necessarily think that you need to get to that 5K range, like between Lawless, Brett Holmes. If you're there, yeah, sure, go Brett Holmes. I would try and just get to Colby Howard, find that $300 and get up to Colby. But I think everybody is viable down here just due to the fact that we're probably going to have a lot of wrecks and stuff. Kyle thought his 51 trunk was junk last week. Didn't seem very fast today with Byron. I mean, I'm pretty sure Byron was... Where are we at? I'm pretty sure Byron had pretty decent speed on the average runs. I didn't pull him. Let me look real fast. Where are we at? Best 10 consecutive laps. Byron was 6th in that category. 0.7 mile per hour slower, so that's 10th and a half slower than Bubba Wallace on those averages. But when we look at the laps, like, Byron is here. When you compare him directly against these, well, let's do their first 5 laps. That's 160.5, 162. 160.1. I mean, just looking at your main guys here, Byron is probably going to fall like 6 fastest in the short run, just based on the early runs. But at this point, this is when you want to look at the long run stuff, and not everybody has that. But if you can focus like we do, I mean, Byron does hit that plateau of it where you're not losing that huge amount of speed. I mean, at this point, we're like deep into a run. Like, if we run 19 laps, if we get a 19 lap green flag run night, I'll be shocked. But he's maintaining a pretty consistent drop. It's not a huge thing. We're already seeing Bubba Wallace, already hitting 156 and staying there very fast, and stuff like that. I mean, and this is, I mean, I'm looking at this, but not really like diving too deep into it. Like I'm just basically just eyeballing it. I mean, you see that, Byron's going from 155, 155, 154, 153, 152, and we don't see that from Bubba Wallace. He's maintaining a little faster running time than that. But I mean, this is we're truly splitting hairs here because both these guys will be running, top 6 speeds and stuff like that. I think Byron improves. I think the team improves during this race. I'm honestly not too concerned with Byron's speed. Let me see. At least that's where I'm at, Andrew. It's probably just last year, yeah. I mean, Chris Wright is terrible. He's easily the worst driver I think I've ever seen in NASCAR. Thoughts on Raja Caruth? I just can't do it. I don't see it. I have Raja projected to finish. Where are we at? I got him for 16th today, finishing 16th. Real quick, I think the drivers that are actually viable in this entire race are people like LaJoy, Colby, Dean Thompson, Hocevar for sure. I think you just eat the chalk again with Hocevar if he wrecks, whatever. Bubba Wallace if he wrecks, whatever. Ty Majeski, Byron, and probably Benedetto. Those are probably the main people that I would foresee fighting to be optimal in this race. And then after that, it's just whoever survives wrecks, it's whoever gets through the field, whatever the case may be. And I think that's it. We've been live for right around 25 minutes. I think I'm probably going to end it there. I mean, I think this race is just a survival race, to be honest with you. That's why I just don't have a lot of lines, not a lot of interest in it today. We'll build more lines for Xfinity. We'll certainly do more for Cup. But Darlington is a beast. That turn 2 is going to cause a ton of issues for drivers. We're going to see people get in the wall. We're going to see a lot of wrecks in this race. I think that's just how it is. Whether it's a big wreck on a restart, I don't think so. But I think we're going to have a lot of like 2 and 3 car incidents in this truck race. So there's that. Thank you, Andrew, for being here. Thank you, everybody else, for joining me on this Friday evening. Best of luck. I hope this truck race treats you well. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for the Xfinity Series and on Sunday for the Cup Series live show. So I will see you guys then. So peace out.